Bravo is a word from Italian that's been borrowed into many languages around the world. But where does this word come from? Let's explore that question together. I'm Luke, and this is polYMATHY. Bravo is one of my favorite words in Italian. Whenever someone gets something right, you can compliment by saying bravo.
Parla italiano! Parla italiano! Complimenti! Complimenti! Parla italiano! Bravo!
And it's an adjective. So unlike English, where we would say, oh, good job or well done, we actually use an adjective to describe the other person as being bravo or brava, or in plural, bravi or brave, if they have done something well. And this word was borrowed from Italian into French, and of course the French modern pronunciation is bravo. French doesn't have stress accent in the same way that Italian and English do, but there is a phrase final accent which French has. So when the French say bravo, it sounds like there is a stress at the end of the word, when there kind of is. So that's why in English we usually say bravo. Or perhaps you'd hear something on Downton Abbey, something a little bit more British like, oh, bravo. And I'm sorry to everybody in the UK right now, I'm not very good at that accent. Which is why it's normal for us to say bravo in English. The English word brave obviously looks a lot like bravo, doesn't it? Well, this is what's called a doublet. The word brave is from French brave, modern French pronunciation, and that French word brave is actually from Italian bravo. It was borrowed into French and then borrowed into English. So the Italian word is bravo, but where does bravo come from? It's not entirely clear. Let's give it a try. So, one possible theory is that it comes from the Latin word bravus, through some kind of intermediary like bravus, bravus being some medieval Latin word meaning bravo, and the Latin word in classical pronunciation, bravus, or in the Italian or ecclesiastical pronunciation of Latin, bravus. Well, this word bravus, in Latin it means bad, like Marcus puer improbus est, bravus puer. Marcus is a bad boy. So how could bravus, which means bad, turn into the word for excellent, good, or well done? Well, even in older forms of Italian, it seems to have some kind of meaning associated with savage or wild. And it's interesting how frequently in languages, words that mean something bad end up meaning something good. Like in English, we have things that are terrible, but things that are terrific. Well, these are both from the Latin terror, which means fear. Something that's terrific inspires fear. Something that's terrible also inspires fear. One's in a good way and one's in a bad way, just by how the words got borrowed into English. And this distinction is true of other languages which have borrowed these words, like the Romance languages. We also have something like that with the word awful and awesome. They both have a common origin going back to the word awe. Awe is something a lot like terror in Latin. It means something like fear. Awe is something that inspires fear. And therefore, something that's awful is filled with ah. Ah! Whereas something that's awesome also inspires fear. Ah! But over time and in colloquial usage, today awesome just means something that's great. So the idea that bravus, meaning bad in Latin, could be the origin of bravo isn't the craziest idea. Except that the change from a P to a B in the beginning of the word, that's a little odd. It's not impossible, but some other theories have come up to try to explain it, like bravus being mixed with barbarus, a barbarian. Barbarians are cool, right?
Adrem barbare.
So barbarus, maybe a little metathesis.
We'll have a better idea after Mr. Barkley runs a check on the power systems.
It was Lieutenant Barkley who first suggested a link between the two incidents.
I look forward to your report, Mr. Broccoli. Barkley.
Metathesis is one of the most common of pronunciation errors, sir. A reversal of vowel and consonant. Bark to brock.
So brabarus and the intervocalic b becomes a v regularly in Italian and other Romance languages. So bravaro, bravaro, bravo, and mixed with bravus makes bravo? Maybe. Another theory is that it's more connected with the Provençal word brau, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know how to pronounce Middle Ages Provençal, but it's spelled brau with those letters, B-R-A-U, brau. And this word apparently, if it isn't directly from the same Middle Latin bravus word, then it's actually from Gaulish, from a Gaulish word reconstructed as bragos, which was related to the modern Irish Gaelic word bra. And bra is Irish for fine. And this word brao in Provençal had a meaning of something like a show-off. Hey, that seems pretty close. Oh, okay, so could it actually be from Gaulish, from the Proto-Celtic language originally? Maybe. But what about the pravus? That seemed pretty good. Oh, the only issue is that it's extremely uncommon for Gaulish words to get borrowed into the Romance languages. Oh, here's another one. Germanic words were borrowed all the time to the Romance languages. A great example being guardare in Italian, which means to watch. Well, okay, so Germanic. Well, what does Proto-Germanic have to offer? It has hrawas. Hrawas, it's kind of close. Hrawas. Hrawas means raw or uncooked. Yeah, that's kind of like bravo, a little bit. It's not that bad. It's no worse than bravus, really. Okay, this is kind of a hard maybe on all of these. What other languages could it have come from? Elada, Greece, I know you won't let me down. Of all the wonderful places, of all the most beautiful languages, O Ellinika, what do you have to offer? There is a medieval Latin word, bravīum. And bravīum comes from the Greek word, which in modern Greek pronunciation is vrabēīon. And I like to use the Lucian pronunciation of ancient Greek for all forms of pre-Byzantine or pre-medieval Greek. So I say vrabēīon, which is with a v, the bilabial fricative. V. And an older pronunciation, still in Greek, would be something like brabīon or brabīon. In fact, Latin also has brabēum, as well as brabīum and bravīum. So that's all confusing. Did it come through classical Latin? Did it come into medieval Latin? When did it acquire this certain sound? And so forth. But before we get too crazy, let's just look at this Greek word. Maybe it's going to save us and help us figure out where bravo comes from. Well, vrabīon is the word for a prize. Oh, why is it a word for a prize? Well, it's related to the word brabēutes, which means a judge, as in of a competition. So if you get to win the competition, you get a vrabīon. Oh, well, that's kind of close. It doesn't really end with the O, but yeah, maybe. And then where does this word brabēutes come from? That's been a little bit harder to find. Vrabīon in Greek comes from brabēutes, which means a judge. So vrabīon's a prize. Brabēutes is the judge who gives the prize. And, well, where does that come from? Well, it comes from the verb vrabēuvo. Vrabēuvo means to judge. And it seems to be connected with the Sanskrit word bravīti. And I don't speak Sanskrit, so if you know Sanskrit, help me out. But it's spelled, as you can see here, bravīti. And bravīti means to speak. Well, where does this word bravīti come from? From a proto-indo-european root, mleuch. And we're not exactly sure how to pronounce proto-indo-european, but that's my best shot. And mleuch, does it have any other cognates in Indo-European languages? It does, in Slavic. There's a Proto-Slavic word mlva, which means speech, and cognates of the infinitive or the noun exist in the Slavic languages. For example, the Czech word mluvit, which means to speak. And this Proto-Slavic mluviti, to say or to speak, has cognates in other Slavic languages like Polish, mówić. It's also hypothesized that the Greek word melos may be, in fact, from this Proto-Indo-European word, mleuch. So do we do it? Is that where bravo is really from? Is bravo from vrabēīon or brabīum, meaning a prize? Is it influenced by bravus? Bravus? Is it from brau? Bragos? Is it from hrawas? I don't know. And that's both the fun and the frustrating part, sometimes, about the origins of words. Some etymologies are just a conundrum. Son of a... Has the word bravo been borrowed into your language as well? Let me know in the comments below. Or do you have a word in your language that's used in a way similar to bravo in Italian? For now, I'll just say молодец and chapeau. I want to thank every single one of you for subscribing to this channel and for liking and sharing this video. And most of all, I need to say thank you to all of the Patreon supporters you see here on the screen. Without them, I could not make these videos. Gratias summas vobis omnibus ago. Valete.